Welcome back, everyone. It is I, Paul Clement, your host of the now Last Call Fantasy Football podcast. And wanted to hop on here post Super Bowl, a couple days later after my Patriots um, fell to the Seahawks 29-13. And what was, I thought, a very entertaining game. I know a lot of people probably thought that it was a less exciting one with the scoring being lower for most of the game, but the my appreciation for the defense on both sides, the Seahawks and the Patriots, was they were really tremendous, and I thought that was a lot of fun to watch for my sake. But the reason I wanted to hop on today, wanted to introduce myself again. We're doing a bit of a rebrand here. Dynastic Buddies will live on forever in our memories, but wanted to start fresh in 2026 with the Last Call Fantasy Podcast with a bit more of a focused approach on how we're going to be able to break down football and talk fantasy football through the offseason and into the 2026 season. So with that said, it's last call, everybody. Okay, so for an introduction, what we're going to be about this time around is kind of a bit more casual, a little less serious, maybe fewer stats for us to digest on. We'll certainly use stats from a time to time basis in terms of what's important, who's really starting to stand out as the season goes on. Start using some of the numbers that are going to be coming up with the combine and the new batch of rookies that are coming into the league in 2026. But I think what we want to do is be a bit more vibes based, like you're sitting at the pub talking football with your buddies, and we're going to be able to use these stats casually. We're going to be able to, trust our guts a little bit and kind of talk through a number of hypotheticals throughout the week. So once we're into the season, ideally we'll have 3 episodes. One episode at the beginning of the week, which will cover, headlines from that week, standout players and standout decisions that were perhaps made by coaches, and maybe some surprises that were both good or bad in how we thought our players should have been used or might have been used. And then after that, in the middle of the week, we're going to start breaking down a little bit of the tape. What we want to do with that is kind of see, where is the league trending? Like this year, for example, wide receiver scoring was dramatically down. Running back and tight end scoring actually quite higher than any number of years for the past 5 or 6 years at least. So are we trending back towards a run-based offense and maybe a bit more balanced offense, where the NFL for a long time had been trending towards the pass game, the focus around protecting the quarterback and the receivers? Are we getting back to a bit more of a rough style of football, which I think was the case in 2025? So doing a deep dive on those emerging trends, picking out some examples in terms of the teams and maybe the players that are involved in those trends. And then, of course, we want to do some, what would you do with this player? And, are players trending up or are they trending down? And then at the end of the week, we want to do, of course, a weekly preview. We're going to be looking at bets that we like, maybe have a bit of a competition with my co-hosts on some of the bets that we do throughout the season, our starts of the week, and maybe do some rankings as well. So who do we have in the top 5 for wide receivers this week? Who do we have in the top 5 for running backs? And we'll go through each position that way. For the offseason, maybe we'll only do 2 episodes a week starting next week. So we're going to be doing mock drafts. We're going to be doing our rankings. We're going to be looking at rookie profiles and their rankings. And of course, any of the breaking news that comes out between now and the start of the 2026 season. Maybe talk about the coaching changes, how we think that's going to affect our players. Look at different mock drafts between dynasty and redraft, and just have some fun and keep it casual until the football season kicks off in September. So once again, thank you everybody for, sticking with us, and I'm excited to be back. I know my co-hosts are excited to hop back on and chat ball again as well. So stay tuned, because next week we'll be starting our regular scheduled programming, and looking forward to a 2026 season full of football and fantasy. Thanks everyone. Cheers.